Welcome to this episode of the FREQ Talks Podcast. Today we have a very special guest, somebody that I've been super excited to have on. He is a father of three. In a former life, was an entertainer on a cruise ship, and now recruits for the rich and powerful, as well as coaching functional fitness and personal training. We have Coach Gareth Davies on the podcast. Gareth, man, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, man. Been looking forward to this.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I know some of the coaches are not that excited about it. No, it's a struggle to try to get some of them to schedule.
It's good, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Heck yeah. So what have you been up to?
Keeping busy. As you said, 3 kids. Man, they keep me so busy. So between working a full-time job, coaching, and youngest just turned 1 year old, it definitely keeps me busy. So I run around a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. How did your youngest was born during lockdown?
During lockdown, yeah, March 25th during lockdown. So that made it interesting. I just started a new job literally at the beginning of March up in New York as well. So I went from a new job to lockdown to having a baby to managing everyone at home. So it was brutal. It was challenging.
You had a rough 2020.
It was. But you know what? It was good at the same time. I got to spend more time with the family than I probably ever had done before. So it was really cool from that standpoint as well.
All right. Very cool. Very cool. So we are primarily a fitness podcast and a frequency fitness podcast. So tell us what brought you into frequency originally?
So funny story. So it goes back to 6 years maybe now. And I got to a stage where I was 310 pounds and I was getting ready, or I just had my first kid and I was like, this is going to be brutal. I need to do something about this. And I had, you know how Facebook is where every ad pops up under the sun when you're kind of looking at fitness stuff. And one did, and it was for a boot camp, Charleston's Best Boot Camp. And without telling my wife, like, hey, I've just signed up to this. I signed up right there and then, paid my money. And then all of a sudden my wife shouts downstairs from me. It's like, what the hell is CrossFit? Why have you got to however much it was charged to CrossFit? I was like, no, it can't be. I don't do CrossFit. It's like a fat guy and the C word just don't go together. So then I realized, oh crap, that was a CrossFit gym. I was like, there's no way I'm doing CrossFit. I was like, look at me, I'm huge. I can't do that. So I'd reach out to them. I was like, hey, can I cancel? I don't want to do that. I was like, can I have my money back? And they said, look, hey, just come try it, see what it's like. So I started boot camp and that was the best thing. It got me into fitness. I'd never done anything like this. So I played sports growing up, played soccer, rugby, and cricket, but just for the school, nothing really competitive. So ended up doing boot camp, loved boot camp, signed up for what was Pulse class after, then kind of moved on to do CrossFit and just kind of broke into it from there.
Yeah, you were part of one of the boot camps that had like a really, really good like core group of people.
I call it the best boot camp there was. So group 112 is what we were, troop 112. So we were a very close group. I think almost everyone except for maybe one person carried on with their membership after. So we stayed kind of really close as a group. And we all went through a lot. It was for a lot of us first time doing something like that. So it was good. And I think that helped me. I can't do stuff like this on my own. I'm terrible. So having those people around me made a huge difference to me.
So you're big on the accountability and just having people like there in your corner to push you and make sure that you're getting your workouts in and doing the nutrition and the learning and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
everything. So I know the mindset is such a important part in this world. If you don't have your mindset right, you can't do it. It's very hard to do it without having that right. And if you don't have anyone, I'm someone that needs accountability. I won't do it on my own. I'll be like, I'll slack off. I don't have to do this. But if I have people around me holding me accountable and like pushing me or giving me that motivation, then my mindset gets right. So I can't do it on my own. So for me, I need it. So yeah, that's a huge part of what I need in the fitness side.
So with the accountability being like such a big part of keeping you on target, how's group training kind of been a player in that?
It's that motivation that you get from everyone else. It's that, hey, I know what you're going through, or hey, I've got your back, or someone's dying across the room. And it's like, hey, you can do this, keep going. And it's that calling out your name or checking in on how you were. And like a lot of the boot camp people and people that I've had the relationships with at Frequency. I mean, I was texting with someone yesterday. It's like, hey, I got to make a change. And I'm like, yep, let's do it. And it's just kind of having that mentality and that kind of communication. And if I was sitting in a Crunch Fitness on my own, trying to do something, I'm like, I've been here 20 minutes, I'm good, I can go now. But you can't do that in a class. Like, your class is there, you got to finish the workout. It doesn't matter how bad it sucks, you got to get it done. So it definitely helps you, keeps pushing you.
Yeah, I love the aspect of you're just not there working out by yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very similar. Like, I can work out alone. I do, like, I still go lift alone, or with one person,
Right.
and like, so I have that ability. I did it a lot during like lockdown and during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I just worked out in my garage at lunchtime, basically every day. But it's such a different atmosphere, and it's such a different environment when you're there with people, and
Right.
you're cheering each other on, and you're in between sets or in between reps, and you're taking a breather, and you just look around the room and everybody else is moving, and you're like, all right, I got to get back to it.
Yeah, and it helps you take up another gear as well. So, like, I feel like if I'm doing it on my own, it's like, yeah, I got this weight, and maybe I won't challenge myself as heavy. But if I see all the guys going and picking up the 55-pound dumbbells, like, all right, this is how this workout's going. It's like, hey, I'm going to step it up a bit as well. I'm not going to sandbag this one. So it definitely helps me from that standpoint as well.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what sandbag means, it's when you slack off in a workout, and we call you out for sandbagging.
Which doesn't happen too often. And that's one thing we're good at. We challenge each other really well in everything that we do. And I think that's always kind of been the beauty for me at Frequency, is there's always that challenge and that motivation that keeps you going. Whether it's someone in the class, whether it's a coach, whatever it may be, there's that community challenge that keeps going on.
Yeah, just the group of people. You'll see somebody that you're relatively similar in strength to, or similar in speed to, and see like what they're grabbing and what they're going for, and you're like, all right, like, today is not the day that I'm going to slack off, because I'll get called a sandbagger.
Right, yeah. I did one this week, and I said to Mark, I was like, hey, what did so-and-so use? And he's like, oh, that was all? It's like, okay, I'm going to use heavier. Halfway through the workout, I was like, I see why he used that now. So it definitely helps.
Yeah, I have, in the past, I've gone and just like looked at the whiteboard to see like what other people's weights have been, just to be like, all right, like, I'm about the same strength as that person. I should probably be able to put up about the same weight.
Right.
But I actually did not do that this week when I
got my message. You beat me by the one pound.
Got you by the orange plates. Those
Gets
little
me
change
every
plates
time.
of money. They're basically what allowed me to beat Mark in an open workout one time.
The little half-pound weights.
Yeah, he didn't know that I had them on there. So when he saw the place that I had on, he just did the math and saw 225. But I had the little half pounders on the inside.
Do you know those half-pounders? Like, they play with your mind as well. Like, it can help you get over that little hump of where you are. So I like those ones.
Yeah. Those little change plates are probably my favorite place that we have in the gym, just because of that exact same reason. Like, if I'm stuck on a weight for a long time, I'll be like, all right, like, instead of going for 140, I'm gonna go for 141.
Right.
I can probably hit that.
Yeah.
And then I can try to push for like 145 after that.
Right. I did that at the push press. It took me as soon as I put those on, got over it, and now I was able to add weight after that. But it was just that mindset, getting over that first one.
Yeah, same. I was stuck at a 215 push press for like 2 years. Like, I knew that I could go heavier. I just couldn't do it. So then I loaded up the black change plates, the 1 pounders.
Yeah.
And I hit 217. And I was like, all right, I'm good.
I love it.
So you're coaching now.
Yes.
You're widely recognized as, like, you and Mark are basically everybody's favorite coaches. I think it's just hard to hate you guys. Like, you got the sweet accent, and Mark's just so calm and nice with everybody, whereas I'll get in their face and tell them that they're sandbagging. So how did you become a coach? How did that all kind of come to fruition?
I've always been passionate about wanting to help people. Frequency helped me. I mean, I view Frequency as saving my life, because, I mean, 310 pounds and being obese, being the way I was, it was bad. So making that change and continuing that, I mean, it's probably the longest thing I've kept up with of any sport or activity. I mean, normally it's like, hey, a couple of years and I'm done. But 5-6 years going on now, and I'm still doing it. But it was the progression that I saw. And I'd gone from like 310 pounds to, at my best, I was down to 238, and there's been ups and downs. It's gone up and down kind of since, and continues, and it's a journey. But knowing that I could do it, seeing what it did for me, I always love to help people. So the longer I'd been there, I saw the opportunity to be able to take on coaching and get more involved. I think I've always been one of the probably most vocal people in classes, and the first one to walk around and high five someone and give a fist bump and try and push someone. So it just kind of came natural to me. So the ability to be able to give that back to someone else. And look, if you look at me and you lined all our coaches up together and you had to say, okay, which one is not a coach, you'd probably point me out because I'm the biggest guy kind of in a room. But it's the idea that someone like me can be a coach. Someone like me knows what they're talking about. Someone like me can help motivate and help change someone else's life. That's kind of what drew me to coaching, and be able to give that opportunity to someone else. So Frequency said, hey, this would be awesome. Come on, go and do it. So I went through the onboarding program, doing all the training, and just got that opportunity. And I think it's 2 years maybe now that I think I've been coaching, something like that. And it's just been cool. I mean, whatever it is in life, whether it's raising money or fundraising or whatever it is, or helping people, just the ability to be able to make a difference to someone is what motivates me. So it's been an awesome journey.
Yeah, I think one of the advantages to the journey that you've been on is you've walked the walk, right? So as you're talking to members or potential clients or people that you see on the street, right? If you're wearing a Frequency Fitness shirt and they ask you about it, or you're wearing a lift heavy weight shirt or something like that, they ask you about it, you can be like, look, like I've been where you're at. Like,
right.
There is a program out there for you. You just need to find the right one. I know a gym that has a pretty good program.
Yeah.
Come check us out if that interests you. But like, so you walk the walk, like you've been at that bad stage in life where, things weren't going the way that you wanted them to do, and you needed to make a change. So when you're talking to other people, there's that empathy and that understanding that you have that a lot of people in the fitness space, like they don't have that because, they were born athletic. They have the right body type. They play sports their whole lives. Like they don't know what it's like to be like overweight or too skinny or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not perfect now. And for me, it's a journey. I'm still working on a ton of stuff that I always do, but I know what to do. But it's, again, that mindset. And I think a lot of people that maybe are overweight and have been through that struggle, it's trying to get your head around, okay, hey, I need to make a change, or how do I make a change? And a lot of people, I was intimidated by the CrossFit word. A lot of people are intimidated when all they see on Facebook and Instagram are these ripped models and guys that work out in their clothes all the time, and that's what they do. And they're like, I'm not going to go to a gym and do that. So it's knowing that, hey, look, there's someone that's been there, is in their corner, can help them, knows what they've been through, and knows that it's mentally draining. It's embarrassing sometimes. It's the idea that, hey, I'm overweight. Excuse me. It's see, getting choked up about it. It's just knowing that, hey, there's someone there that can help you, someone that can help in your corner, can help push you through, and has been there and done that and knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. There's not a lot of people in the fitness space in general, but even Charleston, we're a pretty small market. There's a lot of gyms around, but if you look around at like the coaches and the people that run other gyms, like they're all very strong, they're all very athletic, they're all very fit going into it. And you're just like, a lot of those people don't understand what it's like to have to lose 100 pounds or 70 pounds or have to put on a bunch of muscle mass because they're really skinny and just don't have the muscle mass on their bones already.
All right. And that goes back to a conversation I've had this week with someone as well. Exactly that. They're struggling. They want to do something more. And a lot of coaches like, hey, just do it. Hey, just come do it. It's like, great. There's way more to it than that. Yes, it is just doing it. But there's that whole psychological aspect to it as well that sometimes holds you back. Sometimes you need something to happen in your life to give you that push. Sometimes it needs something to just click to say, okay, I got to do this. It's why it should be as easy just to say, hey, okay, I'm going to do this. It's not. So it's knowing that, yeah, hey, I've been there. I saw those challenges. I hated where I was. And it was just one day something clicked and I thought, hey, I'm not going to be here for my kids in the future if I don't do something now. So it was that was my why. That became my why. In wanting to do something this. And now my why grows into, I want my kids to see me doing something like this so they can push outside of their comfort zone as well. So yeah, there's definitely way more to it than, hey, let's just start and let's go. I mean, that's the biggest part, having that idea, but I think it can play on your mind for years. It's like, hey, I got to do this, but something's always holding you back.
Right. And finding that why is super important. Like for you, originally the why was I want to be around for my kids.
Right.
You know, when they go to high school, when they go to prom, when they
Hmm.
drive their first car, right? When they meet their wife. And now your why is like I want to be a role model for my kids, right? So it kind of shifts and adapts over time.
Yeah. Oh, it does. And I've always loved playing sports. But when you get to 310 pounds, it's really difficult to play sports and you don't really move very fast. So it's tough. But I remember after a few years at Frequency, I joined a church softball league. And it was the first time I played sports since being in the States, and never played softball anyway, so I didn't even get the game firstly. But once I played, and all of a sudden I found like a passion for playing sports that I really hadn't had in a long time. And I remember I hit the ball and I was sprinting to first base, and all of a sudden the guy at first base was like, geez, you are fast. And it's kind of deceiving. Like as a big guy, you can't run fast, but I would never have been like that before. So it kind of gives you that motivation, and you see other avenues open up to you when you start making those changes.
Yeah. You're definitely fast, and you're what some people call like sneaky fit.
Like that.
Right. So there's definitely been a workout. I remember I went to one workout at 5:30 in the morning, and it was a partner workout.
Hmm.
And it opened with a 1 mile run. And then we had a bunch of like dumbbell
remember,
stuff to
yeah.
do. It was like dumbbell snatches and burpees over dumbbells and push-ups and TRX rows and just all that stuff. And then it ended with a 1 mile run. And
Yeah.
I did not want to go on that second mile. I was like,
remember.
no, I'm good. And you're like, come on, let's go. I was like, no, I'm good. You're like, come on, let's go. You had to drag me through that last mile.
I remember it was dark as well out there. Yeah.
Pitch blackout.
Yeah.
What an experience that workout
Yeah,
was.
it was. That's painful. It's things like that. It's like running. I never used to be able to run, but I remember doing my first 5K after starting this journey and wanting to do things like that. I'm a sucker for a challenge. It's any kind of challenge. It's Kat's idea of, hey, let's all go do Spartan races. Like, yeah, sure. Never run a Spartan race. I mean, that still to today has probably been one of the most challenging things for me when we did the one in North Carolina, or in the Carolinas.
The beast one?
The beast one. Yeah, the 15 miles of running. I mean,
I don't understand why that was so hard. Ours was so easy.
I still have nightmares about that Spartan race. I mean, the weather conditions were just brutal. I'd never run that much. I hurt my Achilles after 6 miles. I was like, and still having to run for another 6 after that. That was definitely mentally challenging, that's for sure.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, Coach G, Mark, and Jake, a few of the coaches over at Frequency, all went to a 14-mile Spartan race, which is an obstacle course mud run in the Carolinas. It was upper North Carolina, I think, basically Virginia, in the end of November. So it was cold and it rained the entire time. So it was cold and wet and rainy, and it took them like 5.5 hours or something, 6 hours to do these 16
part
miles.
of me is still there. it was just everything I've heard. Like even the avid Spartan racers still say today that that's probably one of the hardest Spartan races they've ever run. So that makes me feel good. But I think part of my soul was still there at that race.
I think it might still be there now.
It definitely is.
Ours was not that bad. I mean, it was beautiful weather,
sunshine in Florida.
Sunshine, wasn't very hilly. It was flat. It was just long.
It was brutal.
The biggest thing I had to worry about was my head getting sunburnt.
Yeah.
So I had to stop every couple of miles to put some sunscreen on.
Yours was sunburn, mine was hypothermia.
Yeah. So you grew up in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
You are a citizen of the US now.
I am now, yeah.
Dual citizenship.
Yeah.
All right. Where were you born?
So born in London, born and bred London. Grew up in North London, Islington area. Then later on in life, moved out to just outside of London, Hertfordshire area. So London is pretty much home for me.
All right, cool. And then you actually got a job working on a cruise ship.
I did. It was the most random interview process ever. I'd been working in recruitment at the time and had been a bank manager for a while and was just done with the 9-to-5 job. And a friend said, go work on a cruise ship. So I was like, all right, sure. Backstory to that is I used to go to drama school. So I did dance, acting, singing kind of lessons. So the cruise ship was a valid option for that. So I went and applied. This lady said, hey, can you come along for an interview? I was like, sure. I went for the interview. She handed me a piece of paper and it's the job description. I was like, great. She goes, read this. It's like, sounds cool. She goes, you want to do it? It's like, yeah. She goes, all right, cool. You'll be leaving in 2 months. Like, that was it. That was the interview process. So I was like, okay. So I went home to my mum. I was like, hey, mum, I'm leaving for 6 months, going to work on a cruise ship. And so ended up doing that for a couple of years, was 6-month contracts and was an entertainer on a cruise ship. So it's probably the best job I've ever done in my life.
Really? I've never actually been on a cruise ship, but it's one of those. I mean, I've been on a like a gambling cruise where they take you out to international waters. You play poker for 3 or 4 hours, and then they take you back in.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, my ship was about 5,000 people on the ship, half passengers, half crew. We spent half the time in the Caribbean and then the other half time in the Mediterranean. And so we just cruise around. So my job was entertainment to make sure that passengers had a good time. So that meant setting up games, activities, teaching dance classes. It was setting up parties in the evening and things like that. So just making sure people had fun, which for those people that know me, that kind of suits my personality. I'd like to make people laugh, smile, be happy. So it just kind of suited me. And did that for a few years and ended up meeting my wife on the cruise ship. She was on vacation with her friend. And we did the whole long distance relationship for a while once I got back to London. And then, moved over to the States 11 years ago now.
11 years.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here a while.
Yeah. I was talking to someone yesterday. They said, you still got an accent. I was like, yes, that's great. Because people keep telling me I'm losing it. I'm like, no.
I was about to say that. Can't shake the accent.
No, I don't want to. I remember when I first moved here, I was at what we call petrol stations, a gas station. And I went up to the lady to pay and I asked for a coffee. She goes, oh, I love your accent. That coffee's free. I was like, okay, great. And then my wife asked for a coffee and she charged my wife. At that point, it's like, okay, this is what my accent can do for me.
Like, all right, cool. Next time I'm going to get 2 coffees.
Right. Learn my lesson there. It's just kind of cool. I mean, it's definitely been a different experience living in this country. There's so much more that goes on and so much opportunity. And for my kids as well, I see that. So it's been a cool 11 years.
I mean, one of the major changes that we have here is we have actual football, whereas you guys have soccer.
Still confuses me. I think my friends back home get annoyed whenever they see me post something and I mention the word soccer. It's like, no, it's football. I'm trying to teach my son that, hey, everyone over here calls it soccer, but don't worry, you can still call it football. So he looks at me, he's like, Daddy, can I say it? But yeah, there's little nuances like that.
Absolutely. So taking it back to frequency and coaching, the entertainment job that you had on the cruise ship, did that help you when you kind of started to become a coach and got into being in the spotlight in a class as opposed to just being a member?
It did. I mean, as a member, we're not 50, 60 members in a class at the same time. So they're fairly small compared to, but you're always part of that group. But you're not always front and center. But the cruise ship definitely brought me out of my comfort zone. I was always fairly confident and okay standing up in front of people, having done shows and things like that. But I was really scared doing it a lot of times. Being in front of a cruise ship, I'd be standing up in front of 2,000 people having to perform or do something. So that not only got me over my fear, but definitely made me more confident as well, to the point where someone maybe in my situation that has been a large lad for a long time and kind of now is a coach and has to demand the attention of people and sound like I know what I'm talking about, which I do now through training. So it's been great. But it's definitely helped. It's given me that confidence. It's given me the ability to be able to project when in class and talk to people, but help keep people motivated.
Yeah, I assume going from, entertaining and being in front of 2,000 people on stage to being in front of like 13 to 15 is like super, super nerve-wracking, right?
Very much so. Depends on what the movement is for the day.
So what would you say your biggest wins have been since you started consistently working out and exercising more regularly, in the gym, outside the gym, just kind of life in general? Like what would you say like your biggest win is overall?
I think just feeling like I could do more. That confidence is a hard thing to get. So having that confidence and the mentality that you can do things when for the longest time in your life, you think you can't. And as I said, I've had great success kind of on the weight loss. It's been up and down sometimes, but I know what I've done, and seeing kind of who I've turned into, giving me confidence to play sports. I coach soccer teams now and things like that. So coaching at Frequency has kind of led to other things as well. It's kind of opened up my family situation and being able to be there more for my kids. And now I coach 2 of my kids soccer. And when the 1-year-old is old enough to play, I'll coach his as well. So it's definitely just given me more options and more things that I can do.
Okay, I love that answer. I love that answer. It just opens up your life outside of the gym, your family life, your health life, your just lifestyle.
And look, that's what we're all here for. I mean, we all love working out. I love working out. I mean, I know some people come to the gym and they hate it, but I love going to the gym and working out. Sometimes it's a good stress reliever as well. But we all come there because we want to make a change for some reason. So whether that's to get better at something, to look better, to be fitter or be stronger, we're all doing it for a reason. Those reasons tend to be outside the gym. The gym is just our workstation to get us there. So I think that just gives us the platform that we need to be able to take those activities outside the gym and really improve on those.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And where do you see yourself like 5 years from now? Continuing to work out, still being healthy, still coaching soccer?
All of the above, yeah.
All of it?
I love coaching. I love being around people. I think for me, the last kind of couple of years, 3 kids under the age of 7 is hectic. It's crazy. And I think that's played a lot into kind of my fitness journey, how 1 month I can be there a lot and the next minute I have to taper back a bit, and because kids have activities and things like that. So as the kids get older, it allows me to work out more, it allows me to do more as well. But yeah, definitely coaching. I found that passion that I never knew I'd enjoy coaching. If you'd asked me 10 years ago, would I be a coach at a gym? I'd have thought you were crazy and on drugs or something. So it's great to have that aspect. But yeah, coaching my kids soccer. And this year has kind of started. I turned 40 this year, so I've got plans for this year and getting healthier and stronger. But every year, just get that bit healthier, that bit stronger. It's a journey. Anyone that's looking to come and plug a gap for a month and they think that it's over and they're done is probably fooling themselves. This is a journey. You don't have to give up everything. It's all about kind of give and take. It's like, hey, I'm going to go out this weekend, so I know what I need to do. So for me, it's just continuing to grow in what I do now. I talked about this with Jeremy on a previous episode, but if you just get 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you're 37 times better than you were at the start. Exactly. It's baby steps. And I think a lot of people think, okay, for me to get fit, that's it. I've got to be at the gym 7 days a week. I've got to work out twice a day. I can't eat anything today. It's that gung-ho mentality, but that doesn't set you up for long-term success. I heard Jeremy say, just kind of start, and that's it. Start. Get that accountability, get your mindset right, find people who are going to be in your corner for you, and take that first step every day. And then you keep coming back and doing more. You don't have to give up everything. It's all about moderation and finding that balance.
Yeah. So final question here is, if somebody were to come to you today, right? I mean, somebody might have actually already come to you today and said, hey, how do I start working out? How do I get into an exercise regimen? How do I get into fitness? What would you tell them?
I'd want to understand more. I want to understand their whys. Why do they want to do it? What's important to them? I mean, it's great that anyone wants to start. Someone coming and asking to start is definitely that's a huge step on its own. So giving them the tools they need, but understanding more about them. For me, I think any personal situation like that, or any trying to work out more, everyone has a why. So what's their why? Why do they want to do it? How can I help them do it? I don't want to just someone says, hey, I want to work out. It's like, let me throw you in doing this. Hey, why do you want to do it? What's held you back before? What's kind of your background behind it? And then help them take those steps. It can be as simple as just taking, hey, to first class and coming back. But anyone that is listening to this and has never done anything before and they want to take that first step, come talk to me. Come talk to one of the coaches. And I'm proud of who we are as a fitness community. Is we're not this hardcore sales. Hey, you got to come work out and you got to do all these intense courses before you can. Come try it out. Come see if you like it. Then let's talk the next day and let's kind of build a plan from there. So taking that first leap of faith, I think, is the biggest step.
Yeah, that's a big one. The finding the why. So find your why. Figure out why it is that you want to change what you've been doing. And then take little steps to get there.
Exactly.
Cool. Awesome answer. So where can our listeners find you? When you're not at the gym.
When I'm not at the gym, MySpace, Instagram. I post most of my fitness journey is really on Instagram, Gareth D UK1, and they can hit me up there. Or you'll find me at a soccer field somewhere in Mount Pleasant or at Frequency Fitness. Other than that, I don't really leave my home because I work from home. So it's normally one of those 3 places.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for coming on, man.
Appreciate having me.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for checking out this episode of the FREQ Talks Podcast. If you found this interesting, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so that you get notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.